Anybody here? Anybody with me? Who's that? Who's on there with me? Hello, people. I just figured I'd do a live stream because I seen John was on YouTube, so I know we never get to talk or nothing. Does somebody put a text or a message out there? So I can see if I can read them on the live chat. Do I have it enabled? Okay, I'm working on it, guys. Bear with me. Okay, I had it. Did somebody write a chat message yet? I'm gonna stop that. What the hell? God, I'm so stupid when it comes to this shit. Sorry, guys. Oh, it drives me nuts. Close out of that. Close out of that. There we go. All right. Now I should be able to see. Did anybody write a message yet? No? Can you guys hear me? Hello, hello, hello. Okay, well, can somebody please write a text message here for me? Did you see that? Okay. You guys can hear me, right? Okay. All right. Whatever. Okay, 6 viewers. All right. I got people here at least. I wanted to show you guys something here. I'm going to show you something on Google Earth that's pretty crazy. I got to change my screen share, though, I think. God, I'm so inept at this. Oh. Okay, you guys see that, right? All right. Watch this now. I'm going to go to my own live stream on my phone here. But I've been doing a lot of studying on this alchemy thing. And it's brought me full circle to shit. Come on. Sorry, guys. To the meaning of you know, why we're here, what we're doing, and it all ties into, you know, the whole Thoth and Emerald tablets and whatnot. Come on. My channel. There we are. All right. Do I see? Oh, yeah, there is people here. Sorry, guys. Okay, I don't see your chat up on my thing here, but all right, I gotta turn this down here. I don't know how to get. How do I get my chat? Somebody tell me how to get my chat up on my screen, because I'm on my phone and I can see your chat now. How do I get my phone on my computer, or my chat on the computer screen while I'm screen sharing? Is it possible? Okay, I gotta push it right here. It's only showing the Hangouts chat. What the hell? You guys can see my screen right now, right? Whatever. I'll just go off my phone. So you guys over in the UK, what's up, 5D? You live in the UK or on the other side of the planet, or are you on my side of the planet? Okay. Okay, on my phone app. Hey, what's up, Jesse? How you doing, bud? Go to your creator studio. Okay. All right. I'm in the creator studio. Now what? Go to live streaming. Am I still on live right here? Because it says live stream. Oh, whatever. Okay, I'm on my live stream. Oh, I got to go to the specific one. Scroll down. To what? Right here to this one? Google Hangouts on air. Oh, okay. Right here to this one. There we go. Thank you. Hangouts on air. Now, can I screen share here still? Oh, okay. Right here to this one. There we go. Thank you. Hangouts on air. So I just pause it right there, and then I can go back to this, right? Cool. Thanks, bro. Now, how do I go? I don't know. Wow. I can't have this screen up, though, can I? I'm so inept at this. There we go. Now, can I screen share here still? What? Now I'm lagging. I gotta turn this shit down. There we go. Sorry, guys. Wow. So, where do you live again, Jesse? And I seen that Tyler finally shared your what you call it? Yeah, I did. I muted it. Arizona. That's right. Now I remember. Did you get a place yet? No motels in a car. Hopefully you got a big car, bro. Okay, have did you see my latest video though? The all them damn ETs and stuff I was damn it. Well, if you lived up in Minnesota and you had 500 bucks, I could sell you a camper. My wife wants it out of my freaking out of my yard. That's my office I'm in right now. Here, I'll turn on my camera real quick so you can see it. Yeah, you believe me, right? That was here in Oakdale. That was most of that footage was from 2 years ago. It was some of the first footage I ever caught. But I wanted to get down to talking about this stuff right here. Where am I at here? How long of a leg is there? Is my talk okay? So whenever I see it come up on my screen, wow, there's like a 7 second leg or an 8 second leg. That kind of sucks. Hey, you guys see this symbol right here? What do you think this is? Right here, guys. What do you think that is? That's the freaking sun, right? Well, you know, Christianity doesn't want you worshiping the sun. Portal key. Very good. I believe that too. I believe that the portal is in Orion, believe it or not. And this right here symbolizes right here the trapezium open star cluster. The top of it, that's the Kether, and the infinite is on the other side. This is our sun right here. This one. This one is the black hole sun, right in the middle there. Because that's the trapezium open star cluster makes them the cross and the circles in the middle because it's the black hole. What is that? It's a freaking slideshow. I don't want to watch a slideshow. Okay. Yeah, I got a new computer and don't know how to use it because I'm freaking technologically freaking. Now I'm on my old. There we are. Come on, for real? The hell's going on here? I'm looping on myself. Oh my god. I'm lost. Oh my Jesus. Still a work in progress, guys. There we are. I can see you. All right, we're going to go with this right here. Right here. We're going to go right here. All right. But what I wanted to get to is see this picture right here? This picture was in the South Pole from some researcher named Brian Hurd or something. Yeah, what's Igor saying these lately? Full brain travel polymer plastic. Nice name. I thought mine was long. Is he still on the comet? Is he still think the comets are Nibiru or whatever? Yeah, I just got so many freaking pictures. It's retarded. Do I know that the dragon is not a star image? Yes, I do know that. You want to see the dragon? I'll show you the dragon. Where I think the dragon is. It is coming up. See, I've totally. Here's the dragon, guys. Right there. There's the dragon. It's coming up. But I've totally come to the conclusion that we're dealing with a more of a esoteric thing here, and it's all connected through Orion. And this is the wing disc right here, and this symbolizes Orion. This right here, this right here is a tree of knowledge. Right here. This is the Kether, Orion. Now, this area also represents this trapezium, or the brightest area in the Orion Nebula. So an association link will be added. Okay, yeah. But it's the archetype. It's the archetypal. You know how the Bible has always been an allegory, and almost pretty much all esoteric expression is in allegory when it comes to language and our primitive writing. That's why everything was in symbolism like this here. Because it told more of a story, and it was easier for people to understand. My opinion, guys, this is what we're seeing right here. This red thing right here is what's behind the sun, I believe. And you see this? This is the Fibonacci spiral. Right at the center of the spiral is the Orion Nebula. And that's where we get the eye and the triangle. Here's the triangle, and it's the same triangle as the pyramids. Okay? And the eye is right here, what we see on our dollar bill. The Maya used, and the Maya, okay, now the Mayans knew it, and they use it as their three hearthstone, creation and hearth, fire in the hearth, creation myth. I had this up as my avatar or my symbol for my, that goes along with my name. But this right here, everything has an Anu in it, guys. Everything does. This is the symbol for a black hole, the Star of David, because this is the positive, this is the negative, making an equilibrium. That's making the two one again. Okay, that's another allegory from the Bible. But this right here is how to figure out the dimensions or the size of a black hole in every planet. N stands for 144. This, you divide 144 into the circumference of the planet. So 144 into 25,000, whatever our planet is, and you get the exact size of. That's where the hollow Earth concept comes from, guys. Is because everything has a black hole at its center. Ours is our heart. It's called the Anu. That's what the ultimate Anu is about. This right here, eye in a triangle. But right here, this is the best representation of it. And this is why we use why sacred geometry was so big, because you overlay it with certain pictograms and pictures and whatnot, and you can use it as a scale. That's that's why the pyramids were, the mathematics of the pyramids were, you multiply it by 1,000 and you got the exact circumference of the Earth, and then I'm not exactly sure about the whole makeup of the mathematical equations, but it figured out the moon size, and that's why the moon is the exact size to cover the sun from the right distance we are to make an eclipse. It's just all of it lines up because it's part of the matrix, guys. The pyramids are right here in Egypt, which is an exact representation. If you could get a closer image of this, you would see that this is a man. Here's his face, his nose, his chin. This is the pharaonic headdress. That's the delta. The Nile is the kundalini, or the spine. Okay? And the Nile flows north. This is actually Lower Egypt. Upper Egypt is down here. I don't understand that, but this exact representation, these lines line up. If you look closely, this is this right here, these lines right here, all match the lines right here, but it's the modern image, as above, so below. Not the old image or the ancient image. It's the image from today, after we built buildings on the planet. So explain that one to me. You know what I mean? That's just nuts. But, and then, the reason why I got on this so big was because I came across Danny Wilton's Black Hole Sun video. I've said it a million times. And then I bought his Orion in the Vatican. What do I think about the event? I think about the event is it's because of our collective mindset and our inability to see what's right in front of our face. We have shit on our planet. We have shit on our fellow neighbor. We have shit on ourselves. And we're going to get our diaper changed. It's happened to society after society before us. That's where all these ancient civilizations have gone to. Right here, solar boat of Ra. That's what all this is about. The winged disc, right here. Here's another representation of it. That's Orion, guys. Whenever you see that symbol, that's Orion. Whenever you see the eye in the triangle, that's Orion. In the middle of the triangle, the 3 stars. And I wouldn't beat this down so much if I wasn't absolutely sure. And I'm absolutely sure. The first quote above is from Utterance. This is from the Pyramid Texts. And shows that you of Jadu a title of Osiris, and the Djed pillar itself are situated in a mythical place called the place where his soul is found. Then in utterance 625, the Djed pillar in the place where his soul is found is referred to as a staff by means of which the deceased goes up. That's Jacob's ladder, tree of life. I have gone up by means of the staff, which is in the place where his soul is found. I have gone up upon the ladder with my foot on Orion and my arm uplifted. Now that's an utterance from shit. Who knows? Because we're lied to about everything. Orion is encircled by the Duat. When the one who lives in the horizon purifies himself, so this is encircled by the Duat. When the one who lives in the horizon purifies himself, this Unis, and I believe this Unis means our consciousness. The Egyptologists will have you think it's, oh, and here's the Anu that I was talking about. The Anu can scarcely be said to be a thing, though it is the material out of which all things physical are composed. It is formed by the flow of the life force and vanishes with its ebb. The life force is known to theosophists as Fohat, the force of which all the physical plane forces are differentiations of. When this force arises in space, that is when Fohat digs holes in space, the apparent void, which must be filled with substance of some kind of inconceivable tenuity, Anu appear. Now, isn't it odd that Anu is the god of the Nibiru, of Nibiru? You know what I mean? The Planet X is said to be coming from Orion. Okay, now listen to this, guys. It's Rigel. Listen to this. Think critically here. Put your thinking caps on. How can something still be affected by the gravity of our sun and go 10,000 to 20,000 miles in orbit? One, that's Planet X that they're talking about. Because people get on this thing that, Nibiru is a mythical planet. I believe it's one and the same. They're just, they knew this was coming because it's manifest, because we're manifesting it by our actions. And I believe that the Anunnaki may be the seven lords of the cycles that Thoth speaks about in the Emerald Tablets. And I believe that, they've come here and dealt with this shit before, and they're going to continue to deal with this shit. Because right here, you can see the layout of Egypt as the below of the above. And then where the pyramids are right where our pineal gland in our head is, in our brain. Okay. And as Danny's geniusness never ceased. I mean, this was the first, he came across this on an accident because he had the creation of Adam. 1511, he painted this on the Sistine Chapel dome in the Vatican. This is the exact overlay of the nebula. See, this is the nebula without anything. This is a little bit of both. This is more of the painting, and this is the painting. Everything lines up, okay? Now, this thing off the back are the ventricles coming off our heart. That's making the brain and the heart one again. Bina and understanding, making it the Kether at the top of the tree of knowledge. So the tree of knowledge, the forbidden fruit, was this, knowing that we were gods. Okay, here's Yaldabaoth. There's another part of the whole, it matches it perfectly. Look at it. See this? The spirals, the snake. You see the snake right here at the bottom? This snake right here? It matches perfectly. This up to the nose, the eyes, even the spikes, a couple of those spikes you can see. Now, it's not exactly a match on everything because it's overlaid, because our reality constantly changes and it lays on top of each other like film. So imagine it like this. Our central sun is in Orion, is in the nebula, okay? And powers our sun. That's why our sun is freaking out right now. That's why it's white, because there's a change upon us. It's a force change. We're changing. It's changing our visual cortex and changing our reality as we change it. You know what I mean? Because it's like you're sitting in the movie theater, and imagine if you were thinking what you wanted to see, and it would go to the projector and then go to the screen. And then that what you're seeing would then become what you're seeing and what you're thinking. And then it's like a loop. That's how this works. That's how this matrix works we're living in. And the only thing that can explain that is the infinite set of outcomes that we could have in a finite boundary, even if the finite boundary is just within the 1,500 light years that we, in our little niche, from wherever to Orion. You know, I don't know how much Orion has. Maybe everything was born from Orion, because if you go from Orion outward, the stars that are closest to Orion are the youngest. It's the closest star birthing nebula to us. And that's where they just recently found the black hole in an article in space.com in 2012. In November of 2012, they found a black hole there that's 200 times the size of our sun. And isn't it odd how everything we've been taught recently is explosive? Everything that is our physics of today's world is explosion. Everything is X, 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 you know, combustion engine, Big Bang Theory. Everything is explosive, weaponry, everything. But you want to know something? Our true existence is inward, is the black hole. And it's kind of timely, you know. Stephen Hawking checked out, you know, right at the time where he was going to see his theories and his work, his life's work. What's not true? What, I'm lying? I'm lying about what I'm talking about here? Michelle, you're thinking I'm lying to you. You think I'm selling you a bunch of bullshit. Is that what you're saying to me? Orion's not true? Sorry, there's a lag here. Orion's true. This what I'm talking about here has been thoroughly investigated. I mean, the guy spent 9 years of his life on it. 8 years of his life on it. And the dude's an analyst. Who's misinformed? You're going to start throwing shit like that at me when you haven't even looked or paid attention to what I'm saying? That's just not right. You know what? You can stay in your box. Kick rocks. That's all I got to say. If you want to start saying shit like that to me, I mean, you can know the truth, or you can try to let the truth enter your mind. But that's not up to me. That's on you. I'm not lying to nobody. I'm telling you what I believe. And if you don't like what I believe, don't come here casting stones. My last name's Stone, by the way, and I can put up with everything, but don't call me a liar or misinformed, because I don't believe I'm misinformed. If you're believing in this doctrine right here, you're misinformed, because they hijacked the church. I believe in Jesus Christ. I believe in God. I'm not saying I don't. The oldest star, I said the youngest star is in Orion. That's where they're born. That's where we go to become stars, is in Orion. We become sons of the morning in Orion. That's where our mainframe server is, if that's what you want to call it. The Matrix was kind of true. You know, we feed into it all. Everything that you see, symbolism, Okay, Jesus was a man, came down, and to remind us that we were on the path of inequity. No, I meant youngest. Youngest at the nebula. And they're older as you get away from it. I gotta talk to I gotta send John. Are you in here at all? I'm sorry, Michelle. I didn't mean. I'm not. I don't mean to get angry. I'm just, I'm not really angry either. I just, I thought you called me a liar, and I'm not a liar. So I apologize. Uh, Sorry about that, guys. Oh yeah, did you guys see this stuff in my latest video? Here, we'll look at this real quick. Look at this stuff. This is pretty interesting. Gerald Clark shared this. But look at all these things these guys found. I don't know how long ago this was. Sorry, Michelle, if I misspoke. I didn't mean to. My bad. Yes, I believe Jesus was real. I believe Jesus was real. He did. He came down to, and it's not just he was real. He was reincarnated. He was Thoth reincarnated, in my opinion. And it was more than just a man. It was. Are you stuck in the dogma of the church of today? Because the church told you this stuff isn't real either. You know what I mean? The church lied to us for how long, saying aliens weren't real. They were demons. Maybe some of them are, but not all of them. You know, obviously this one was. He's cutting somebody's head off, but you know what I mean? I believe Jesus was real. I never said Jesus was fake, but it was more than that. And so, are you trying to tell me you think Jesus, his last name was Christ? Or do you think it was more than that? What do you think on that? This is why they say don't talk about politics or religion, huh? Because you start offending people. And I don't mean to offend anybody, but I'm just trying to share my truth. And that's all I'm about on my channel, is trying to share truth. And that's it. That's all I care about when I'm doing this. Because I'm hungering for knowledge. I'm hungering for the reasons why we're here. I'm hungering for, all of that. As I hope all are that are paying attention to me. Nazareth, what? That was his last name? He was Jesus of Nazareth, right? That's where he was born. Oh, okay. Here, I'll go to something just to show you where the Jesus. Okay, what do you think the Last Supper picture's about here? Let me pick your brain on that one. What do you think this picture's about? Yes, I believe Jesus was the Christ. Yeah. He but he Jesus is us all. Jesus accompanied the whole thing about Jesus is he died for our sins, okay? And the allegory of for God, okay, here, John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, for he that shall believeth in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. Now, I used to think that meant something totally different, that God gave a flesh man to us as an offering to take our iniquities away so we would then be free for the 1,000 years of glory. No, it was sort of like that, but it was something way more than that. For God, the infinite above the Kether, gave his only begotten son, the black hole sun, which is in the trapezium star cluster, okay? For he who shall believeth in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. So you have to have faith in the Christ in us all. See, our conduit through Christ is our pineal gland, our consciousness is our Christ consciousness, because it was Jesus the Christ, not Jesus Christ. It was Jesus the Christ. He attained Christ consciousness through the masters, and he studied in Tibet. He didn't just sit there, he studied. He went to the initiation at the pyramid. He laid in the sarcophagus. Look in the window. Where? Okay, do you know what this means now? What does this Last Supper mean? What this means is 3, 3, 3, 3. Here, let me just shrink this back down. Okay, there's 4 sets of 3. What does that tell you? What does that tell you, folks? 12 signs in the heavens. Okay? It's an astronomical key. And the reason why there's a 13th one now, Ophiuchus, or whatever his name is because of Jesus. It's man's struggle. That's why he's a serpent bearer. Man's struggle with the flesh. It all fits together. All of a sudden, we have a 13th sign in the zodiac. Okay? There's 12 apostles, and Jesus is the 13. The 12 and the 1. Where else have you heard the 12 and the 1? Or 1 a.m. or 12:01? Okay? That is the galactic, that is the great year, the Mayan calendar. One precessional wobble. 24,592 years, or 25,952 years, something like that. I think it's 24,952 years to create, or to complete one galactic, or not one galactic, but one great year, the Baktun. And every Baktun, we start a new sun age. And that's what we're doing right now. That's why the sun's so screwed up. And that red thing that I showed you guys is what's behind the sun. If anybody has been paying attention to the sun, everybody tells you that you're taking a picture of it and it's causing, that red thing behind the sun. I know it does when it looks like the petals, when you're turning your camera sideways, but when it's that big red blob with the black indentations, it's the thing above Orion we're seeing right here. The Church of the Jesu. IHS. I don't know what IHS stands for, though. So I guess that's a bad example. And he said unto them, Behold, when ye are entered into the city, there shall a man meet you, bearing a pitcher of water. Follow him into the house where he entereth. That's the age of Aquarius. That's where we're at. And, does anybody know what these hats are that these people, the Vatican popes wear? Do you know what this is? Yep, huge red ring. That's the cloud behind. Hello. Happy St. Patty's Day. These are fish, guys. Look it. They're fish. Pisces. Jesus. Right there, Pisces. And sun worship is more than okay. The second coming of the Son of Man is SUN, sun, guys, not SON. There's a couple different ways you can decipher this. Is this? And did you know you keep bisecting a circle, it always ends up adding to 9 in a digital or vortex math? Right here. Here's where the Virgin Mother of Mary, Jesus, rebirth, and all that comes from. This is the Virgin Mother Isis with her baby Horus. This is after Osiris was chopped up, and then Isis dug him up or got him out of got his pieces back together except for his penis and took his DNA and that whole thing. But look at what she's standing on. She's standing on the cosmic egg, or the Anu, which is at the heart of everything. It's at the heart of our planet. It's at the heart of a black hole. It's at our heart. Our heart is in Anu. Have you ever wondered why an EKG machine picks up an electromagnetic pulse when your heart beats? It's because it's electric, folks. We live in an electric universe. We've been lied to at every level, like the damn caldera down there in the Gulf of Mexico. They measure 133-degree temperature in the middle of the Gulf, yet around it, there's temperatures of 78 degrees. It wasn't no freaking asteroid that took out the dinosaurs. It was a fucking volcanoes. They're lying to us on every level. Every level. Right here is the tree of life. This is what I was talking about. The Kether. Here's the Kether. Here's our sun. Here's the moon. And here's the Malkuth. This is our planet. Now, our chakras are lined up the same as this tree of life. You make the Bina and the understanding, or the Shakma, one, you get the Kether. Beyond the Kether is the infinite. The Kether is the black hole sun in trapezium open star cluster. Okay, this is the symbol for Saturn. Saturn, Mars, or is this one Mars? I think this one's Mars. And is it coincidence that we are on the third rock from the sun in the third dimension, and everything thrown at us is fear? And if you get into the Emerald Tablets and you read the Key of Mysteries, he tells us that 3 is the conveyor of negative unto men. The third lord of the cycle. And is a coincidence that there's 7 tones in the solfeggio scale, 7 colors in our visual spectrum, 7 what else is it? 7 planets other than the moon and the sun, 7 stars in Orion, 7 in Pleiades, 7. That's where 7 was such a big deal in our existence. The Mound Builders of North America, the Path of Souls. This is a good video on my channel to watch right here. They had the eye in the hand. And the eye in the hand meant the same as Orion, because they thought Orion was a slit in the sky. So when they died, they went through Orion to go to Cygnus. It was the path. It was their doorway. You guys got to stop thinking in the form of physical orbital mechanics and physical what we've been taught, because the physics of what we've been taught is all a bunch of bullshit. What they're doing at CERN is a bunch of bullshit. It's particle bumping. It's a religion in itself. Think about this now, okay? They say the double slit experiment. If anybody is familiar with the double slit experiment, they say that a particle, and a photon is non-existent. A photon is bullshit too. A particle splits through the slits and decides where to land on the board, because it turns into a wave and it's a particle at the same time. That's impossible, because a wave isn't a thing. John, are you in my live stream yet? I gotta send him a message here real quick. The fact that what I've learned is this whole thing is due to us. As above, so below as above. I'm asking him for my help, for his help. Okay, But to get back to this, the North American mound builders, they were the last giants on Earth, the Nephilim, I guess. They were the last 9-footers, 10-footers, I guess. You know, because the chiefs of these tribes, they weren't burned like the rest of them. The mounds that are, I got a mounds park by my house, they were burned, and as they were burned with all of their earthly goods, and that's how the mounds got bigger and bigger and bigger, because they just burned on top of each other. But the chiefs and the royals of their tribes would have a chamber inside, and they would stay, in their bones or whatever. They would actually save their bones and not burn them until a certain date. And I think it was the winter solstice, because that's when the eye in the hand was at a certain spot in the sky, so they could jump over the pond, which was some, it was just in their mythology. But I don't know what this is here, but right here, guys, this is the Saul, I think, the Judgment of Saul, I believe this is. But everything we look at and have been looking at as far as church art, cathedrals are laid out in the form of man. Hey, there you are. You're here. A comet did hit the Gulf, and it sent a shockwave through Earth, forming the Himalayas. Okay, so if you believe that, so you believe when they went down, you sure are a combative live streamer chatter, aren't you? I love it, though, because it brings out the truth. Thank you, Michelle, for posing these questions. I do appreciate that. What's up, John? How are you, bud? Well, I'm having trouble here with Michelle. She's arguing every point I got here, but that's fine because I love it. But John, did you hear about the 133-degree temperature in the middle of the Gulf recently? Now, all the other buoys around that were all at about 75, 78 degrees. And everybody knows that there is a dead zone in the Gulf, right? And does everybody remember the Russian ship that was off the East Coast last year? And everybody was wondering, why are they letting that ship stay there? Remember that? If you were a tuber then, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Okay, now the Russian ship was there to monitor the Gulf Stream, to monitor the current, the Atlantic flow, because it goes through the Gulf, and what happens if the Gulf overheats? It stops the conveyor. Remember the day after tomorrow scenario they tried selling us? I don't know if that's real or fake, but I don't believe in the whole Maunder minimum thing, until that happens. But I believe that's what's happening now, is something in space is heating up our planet from the inside out. I don't know what the mechanisms of that is, but maybe a comet did hit the Yucatan Peninsula. But they were down there saying they were drilling, looking for whatever the comet was made out of, that killed the dinosaurs. And I don't believe that now. I believe they were down there drilling, finding out how close this volcano or super caldera in the Gulf of Mexico, how hot it was getting. And we didn't know about this dead zone until recently either, where there's no fish or nothing, anything in the Gulf, along the Texas and Louisiana border and all that. There's just a swath of dead zone where there's no fish. And a volcano heating up would explain that. In all these volcanoes around the world, there's like 48 of them going off right now, 15 of which just started going off, and they weren't active forever. So to get back to my point, all of this religious stuff is based in fact. I believe that. I believe Jesus was a real person, came to remind us of, what's to come. And he warned us that if we didn't change our ways, this was going to happen. And we are there. There's actually a Lake Michigan triangle. More planes and boats have vanished. Oh, yeah? Now, right there, that harkens to that there's something more than just the physical. Like the Bermuda Triangle. Okay, Has anybody tried wrapping their mind around what the Ark of the Covenant was? And if nobody's familiar with Nassim Haramein, do some research on him and watch his presentation. He's got this I think it's called the Resonance College or whatever, School of Resonance. But he teaches that everything in our existence is due to a black hole or miniature black holes. The Anu, which the Anu is in Orion, and it's in our heart. Our heart is an Anu, you know. And this is what we're seeing behind the sun right here. This big round thing right here. My opinion. That's what we're seeing. Because this is the Horsehead Nebula. The red horse is riding in, boys. It's coming to get us. You know, but for those that have faith in God, in us, fearless faith, then you won't have to worry about the turtles. Because I like turtles. I like turtles. Look at this. Turtle's getting him some. Ooh, baby. Watch watch the lemurs up in the trees. I'm sick, I know. I'm retarded. I just thought we needed a little break from the religious talk. There's my lazy dog. She's lazy. Right here, guys. This is what we're seeing. See this red thing? Look at that is what we're seeing. See the indentations? The same marks are on that. And I know this is a reflection, but I'll go to my most recent video where it's behind the sun. And I didn't see that until recently. Well, I did see it last year and maybe once or twice the year before, but not like it is now. It's huge now. And it's red everywhere. And that's why they were telling us red oxide or red iron dust from, it picking up this or that. Now, if you really think long and hard about the orbital mechanic thing they've been selling us, how the hell can something go past the Kuiper Belt 1,800 years away from the sun and still come back? Think about that. Or the Planet X thing that they're trying to tell us is 10,000, 20,000 years. Really put your critical thinking cap on and think about that. That's impossible. Under their orbital mechanic bullshit, it's impossible. 50 billion miles away? It's impossible. Here's another picture from the South Pole from a couple years ago. And look at, there's no freaking snow, guys. This is a South Pole camera. See that? No snow. There it is again. That could very well be a lens flare. I'm not, going to argue that one. But John, you're sold on the whole Orion thing, right? I mean, you're with me on that, aren't you? Please say you are. So I don't feel alone. Yeah, it's a lot to take in. I'm telling you guys, watch the one video, the black hole sun, and you'll be sold. You'll be sold just like I am. I mean, it was the biggest, brightest bulb that ever went off in my head was when I seen this information. I felt so elated. I wanted to go out and shout and on the rooftops and sell this to everybody. And I'm still trying, but it's amazing how people put the blinders down when you start talking about it, especially in this Nibiru community, because they're thinking they're trying to. Okay, you may love it. Do you believe it? Is what I'm asking you. Okay, and here's another piece of the puzzle. The Lord gave me a view of the shaking of the power of the heavens. I saw that when the Lord said heaven, in giving the signs recorded by Matthew, Mark, and Luke of the Bible, he meant heaven. And when he said earth, he meant earth. The powers of heaven are the sun, moon, and stars. They rule in the heavens. The powers of earth are those that rule on the earth. The powers of heaven will be shaken at the voice of God. Then the sun, moon, and stars will be moved out of their places. They will not pass away, but be shaken by the voice of God. Dark, heavy clouds came up and clashed against each other. The atmosphere parted and rolled back. Then we could look up through the open space in Orion, whence came the voice of God. The holy city will come down through that open space. Sounds exactly like what's. Hey, Trippin, what's up, girl? Sounds just like I'm trying to sell everybody the Anu. Trippin's the one that came up with our put the light bulb over my head about the Anu being our hearts being the Anu. Okay, this is the painting of the uh the eye in the triangle. So yeah, so you're sold on it all. It's kind of amazing how they've vilified every important symbol. This is a triumph in the name of holy name of Jesus Christ in the Church of the Jesu. Okay, this is the painting. Here, let me go to a different one here. The one before it. Oh, come on, come off of that. Damn it! Can't even work this anymore. The hell? This one. Nope, not that one. Yeah, John, I went and bought his ebook, Orion in the Vatican. Okay, guys, here's the red dragon that's in Orion. This is in the nebula. This is the nebula right here. This is just blotched out. No enhancements done. Right here, it's been enhanced. But there's no enhancements done. And you can even see it's blowing out flame there. That's the red dragon. Okay, here's the winged disc. This is Orion Nebula, you know, as a whole. Tree of Life right here. Tree of Life. Kether. Wouldn't have been. I wonder how much of a shit show it would have been to be alive back then. To be a gold mining slave. Oh wait, we're there right now. It's like we're gold mining slaves still, isn't it? I mean, we wake up every day saying, "I wish there was more. I wish, I wish I had the answers." And there's got to be more to life than this. Getting up, going to work, getting up, going to work, going to bed, getting up, going to work for what? To pay your bills, to do more, to get up to go to work, to get up to go to work. What the hell? We're still slaves. We're just under the illusion we're free, right? In the Michelangelo time, though, there was no telescopes. Period. Not for another 100 years. He painted that painting of the nebula, the brain, and what is it? The nebula, the brain, and the painting all line up when laid over each other. 100 years before. Okay, here's that painting I was talking about in the Church of the Jesu. This is the Barnard Loop right here. See, and he kind of ties in the nebula part right here. But all the angels, the red of Barnard's Loop is the angels. Okay, and the Fibonacci spiral is in all of nature. And that's what it comes down to, everybody, is repeating patterns. Everything in nature is a repeating pattern. The golden mean, pi, phi, golden spiral, or Fibonacci spiral. And I showed you guys this, the exact representation. The pyramids is the exact geometric or geographical center of the Earth. The nebula, center of here. And all of these edges, these clear-cut edges, line up. Like you follow, that's where this flower of life, the cold flower of life in the emerald tablets that is in the halls of Amenti, is the black hole, the Anu that he talks about. Okay, the Ark of the Covenant. Let's get back to the Ark of the Covenant. What do you guys think that was? What do you think the Ark of the Covenant was? I'll give you a clue. It's the reason why the Pharaoh let Moses go and then chased him. Anybody? Yep, electromagnetic, but it was a little more than that. It was an electromagnetic implosion generator. They created a vortex or a they created an electromagnetic vortex and then they had to implode it to keep it under control. And what does the electromagnetic vortex cause? Causes radiation. That's why they had the long poles on it. That's why it was encased in gold. And that's why in the Great Pyramid of Khufu, the Great Pyramid in Egypt, that's why the in the king's chamber there's a sarcophagus, but there was never a body and there's no glyphs on the walls. Is because the sarcophagus is what held the Ark of the Covenant. It's the exact same measurements. The Ark of the Covenant, the dimensions of it that are in the Bible and that we can measure today in the sarcophagus, the ark could fit into it. Take the poles out of it, drop it in there, and it was made out of gold. It was a black hole. That's how they moved all the stones, folks. They drilled through the stones with sine waves via tuning forks and poles. You know, and the black hole is like a multi-tool or a Swiss Army knife of power, tools, and it levitated. That's why it took Moses 40 years to get through the desert. That's why they built a tabernacle for it. Okay? That's why it took him 40 years. It would only take you. Nassim Harriman said that his family lived there in that part of the country, and his dad actually worked as a like a Sherpa in the mountains, but he was a guide, and he took pilgrims across the desert to retrace the path of Moses, and it only took 6 months at the most to get there, and 6 months at the most to get back, so a year. But it took him 40 years. Took Moses 40 years to lead the Israelites through. No, Moses left Egypt with the ark. Moses had the ark in tow. That's why they chased him. Why else would the Pharaoh let him go and then chase him? And what do you suppose split the Red Sea? It was the ark. you're just have you researched any of this and you're telling me no. So I'm full of shit. Completely full of shit. I love you. That's awesome. Whatever. Okay, this right here. This is evil too, right, Michelle? I don't know about Abraham's body, but I know they had the Ark of the Covenant, and I know they had the Israelites in tow, and I know that the Pharaoh let them go, and then all of a sudden wanted to chase them. Why? Because Moses stole the freaking Ark. He stole their power source. It was the last Atlantean technology that the Egyptians had, because their society had degraded so much over the years, they started losing connection with the Christ consciousness, like we are right now. And it's because of the dogma. I don't know how they made the encasement for the ark, but the ark was encased in gold to shroud it. It was like lead, to shroud the electromagnetic effect. That's why when they said people opened it, think about this. Now, they say that no light can escape from a black hole, right? But yet again, you look at all these pictures of NASA, you see two jets coming out of it. You even pointed me to a video once tripping about how black holes have pulses. The ark may have very well been a portal. I think every black hole is a portal. That's why I believe that this whole matrix thing that I'm talking about is real, because our pineal gland is the portal to the portal, you know. But this right here, this has been vilified. You know, I'm not saying it's a good symbol. I'm just saying it's the same as the Star of David, and it's the same exact angles and everything. You know, it's the black hole, because you make the positive, the upright triangle, the upside down triangle, and it creates an equilibrium. That's why when they created an equilibrium, they could move stone, matter, any weight they wanted, they can move it. Ed Scallion figured it out. That's not true, Michelle. I know it ended up in Ethiopia. That's what they say anyway. But you know, there is, if you go back and you watch some of Graham Hancock's stuff, that's how he got into the whole Egyptologist thing. He states that all of the Ethiopian Christians or Jews all had a tradition of, all of them had a they say it's in Ethiopia, but you know, nobody else can look upon it because they pick somebody from the tribe there that sits and babysits it, and he can't be tainted by any outside force. He can't touch anybody. Nobody can talk to him or touch him. I don't know if they can talk to him, but he can't leave the courtyard. He's taken care of by people's offerings. And but I mean, Graham Hancock states that they all made a representation of the Ark of the Covenant to put in each one of their churches. Okay, and if they didn't have a representation of the Ark, then their church was illegitimate. They wouldn't. Whose son brought it? Okay, here's the pillars of creation, guys, or our temples. Our temples, our third eye. Left temple, right temple, third eye. Make the two one again to create an equilibrium, Christ consciousness. Kether. The representation of man on earth is the Nile Delta, which is the brain. The pyramids are right there at the pineal gland in the triangle. Okay? The Nile flows north, Kundalini. Right here. Trapezium open star cluster. This is off of my my star map. Redshift. Look at this. Now, if this doesn't prove it to you, nothing will. These are the stars in the open star cluster trapezium. All right? They form the cross. The black hole said to be in the middle of them. What are the numbers for? What are the designation numbers for them? 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. What is that? That's binary code for computers. Is it not? Here's that dragon in the Orion Nebula again. Look at that. Complete with some fire or smoke coming out of its mouth. Syria, land of the sun. Thank you. Hello. Exactly. Right here. And isn't it okay? Here's another one that's not a coincidence. I told you about the 12 apostles, Jesus being number 13, Ophiuchus being the 13th sign, and he represents the serpent bearer, which is a symbolization of us. Man's struggle with flesh. You know, man is Ophiuchus, and the serpent is flesh, and it's symbolic of our struggle with it. And there's 13 steps in every staircase, folks. 13 steps for every flight of stairs. Count your stairs, there's 13 of them. Now, is that coincidence? I think not. There's 13 steps in most of the Mesoamerican pyramids. How did I hear what? Or are you talking tripping? I hate the leg. Oh, here's another one. The Hopi Indians, guys. Why did they lay out all their mesas in Orion's favor? I'm not talking about the North American mound builders now. These are the Hopi, the ones with the red and blue Kachina. Sorry. Look at laid out an exact formation of Orion. And they found some giants there too recently. Giant skeletons and elongated heads. Oh, you're talking about the mounds tripping? Like at Mounds Park? Here's our dollar bill, guys. Everybody thought, yeah, they're shoving it in our face. They're watching over us. No. Every important symbol that is known to man, the church is hijacked or some nefarious money grubbing sons of bitches took it over, and it's just par for the course in our existence. Okay, here's another thing, guys. Look at this. Angular size for the open for the nebula, Orion Nebula, Bright Nebula, angular size 6660. Come on now. You know what I mean? 6660. Another thing that was vilified, right? There it amazes me how I continued to have an open mind. I was stuck on the facts that I was sold. The Marshall Masters, date given, charlatan he is, and all of his facts that he shoved down everybody's throat, wrote a freaking Bible for, and all that other shit, and everybody still believes it. The Dave Dobbs, Steve Olson story. You know, shoving dates down your throat and telling you that this is going to happen, when this is going to happen. It's all a bunch of freaking misinformation, disinformation. I know the thing's real. I know something's coming at us, but it's not what we think it is, folks. I'm not even sure if it's this, but it's not. You got to think to yourself critically. Tell yourself, how can something go 1,800 miles away or 1,800 years away from us and come back? How can it happen? There's no way it can happen. No, the shafts do not point to the stars. The pyramids are laid out in the formation of the belt stars. The shafts point to Cygnus and Polaris is where the shafts. Yeah, the dark star. The dark star is the black hole sun. Who's a dopehead? Me? Or Steve Olson? And that's half the issue with everybody not believing in this stuff. And maybe we shouldn't believe in it. Maybe what I'm talking about is, maybe we're causing it just by believing it. I know what you're talking about, John. I was just kidding. Did you see my recent comments on that video thing that I left? He didn't respond to me, but I don't want to run his name through the mud because he's my brother. We're all connected. We're all one. I never intended to run Steve Olson's name through the mud. I just felt compelled to share the story for Ron, because I believe that he was inside and outside are the same. Oh, and here's another one. The key is found in the logos. That is a big phrase that Thoth says. The origin of the Jewish image may perhaps be traced to Hermes, Pymander, the Egyptian logos, who appears within a cloud of a humid nature with a smoke escaping from it. In the Sohar, the highest god is, as we have shown in the preceding chapter, and in this case, Hindu and Buddhist philosophies, the pure abstraction whose in the form of man. Okay, here's another one. This is the pyramid of El Tigre, or El Murada. El Tigre is the same way though. But look at, here's the triangle, guys. And they did their thing right here. But these are laid out in the exact configuration of the three belt, or there's three stars. What is it? Scythe, Rigel, and Alnitic, or El Nilam. Yeah, I am trying to be nice to Steve. He never offended me any, and never really did anything to me because I never gave him a chance because I knew he was a charlatan. But he was given dates, and giving dates in this community is wrong because what happens? Everybody starts doubting and everybody starts calling you a nutcase. Well, like Nancy Leader, she just gave another date recently. Read the bottom of what? This one? The structures at El Marauder might be telling us of an early mythological conception derived from the position of these stars and other heavenly bodies and what the Maya interpreted them to be in their creation myths. We have tried to animate the mythological origin represented in the symbolism of a triadic structure in the hopes of simplifying its understanding to our readers. And I don't believe that people that were even pointing this out knew what it's represented. Oh yeah, they did, because right here, see, in all their at El Marauder, El Tigre, they each have two triadic structures. 34 and the top of the Great Tigre Pyramid itself is a triadic structure. La Dante complex, same thing. La Pava, same thing. Representation of the Maya's creation myth, it's portrayed the place of origin, which they represent in everyday life as well as in every Mayan home. These three stones, known as the three heart stones or Ox Titun, are found in every Mayan kitchen even today, where the fire they cook in recreates a celestial image. Other Maya archaeologists have dedicated much thought, following quotes, bibliography, recommended, but it's in the middle of that is the fire in the hearth. If you get into, I can find a image here that tells the whole story. Plotinus and the later Platonists worked to clarify the demiurge. To Plotinus, the second emanation represents an uncreated second cause. Plotinus sought to reconcile Aristotle's energia with Plato's demiurge, which, as demiurge and mind, is a critical component in the ontological construct of human consciousness used to explain and clarify substance theory within Platonic realism. In order to reconcile Aristotelian with Platonian philosophy, Plotinus metaphorically identified the demiurge within the pantheon of the Greek gods and Zeus. So that's just explaining the age of the Greek mythology and their take on the whole thing. See, every one of our human eras or epochs have put their own spin on this, and that's half the reason why it's been lost. But recently, it's been lost because the people with this knowledge had to hide it and hide out from the church because of the Inquisition. They would be considered heretics and killed for it, because the plain and simple fact is right after Jesus was crucified, the Roman Catholic Church started, or the Romans started going downhill. Their empire started tanking. So what they did was they went to Alexandria in Turkey, and Constantine decided, for political reasons, to start Christianity. And that's where the Roman Catholic Church was born. That's when the New Testament was wrote. That's when it was canonized. That's when they decided which books went into the Bible. That's why the Book of Enoch was left out. That's why the Book of Thomas was left out. What's up, Jim? Jim S.A., what's up, my brother? How did two societies create pyramids? Thank you. Right there. There's clue enough. Because they were the remnants of the Atlantean civilization that branched out after Atlantis sunk. They were of the Nephilim, or the Elohim, or whatever you want to call them, which are the Anunnaki. You know? But everything we think is bad is actually what our heritage is. We are star seeds from Orion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I didn't know that, but these are letters for, I forget. I think this spells Yahweh. I'm not sure, because I don't know how to read Hebrew or whatever that is. I think that's Hebrew. But right here's a good one. Fibonacci spiral. Everything in nature has this. Think about this: hurricanes, typhoons, storms, your drain. The Anunnaki, I might, I've been starting. Oh, it's 2:39 here. Yeah, what are you doing up so late? Tripping? I started doing this live stream so I could get John on, and he could experience a live stream for once, because he's usually not around, because he's on the other side of the planet. Where are you at, John? In the UK? Are you in Australia? But our eyeballs are the windows to our soul, and our soul is seated in our pineal gland. Why, you gotta you work the third shift or something? Full brain travel polymer plastic. I love that name, dude. or chick. I don't mean to call you dude. Thailand. Holy cow. What's weather like? Weather's been pretty crazy there, hasn't it? Hasn't it been flooding a lot there? You're in Italy? Wow. You are a guy, right? I mean, I'm not saying dude and you're a woman, right? Because I've done that before. Okay, here's the Anu, guys. This is what our heart is. This is what Trippin brought to my attention, and it made me realize, because it looks like our heart, right? Leadbetter, he wasn't a very social person. I think he was an actual pedophile, but I don't know. There's some talk about that. But everybody know what this is and what's on the bottom of this stone? This actually, you shine black light on this, the eyeball lights up under a black light. You're a woman. Okay, sorry. Sorry, Chicky. I didn't mean to be calling you a guy. All right, but on the bottom of this, it says the second the Christ comes, or what does it say? It says something about, but it shows a depiction of the Orion belt stars, the constellation, and then it says the second coming of the sun. Yeah, I think it says the Son of Man under it. Has it rained for 7 weeks? Holy cow! Yeah, I was watching. That's where I got that information from. Okay, but here's the nebula, guys. Just a section of it, and it's in blue just so that because this is in blue. But he shows where all this stuff lines up. You know, this, the feathers. And like I said, it's not always an exact thing, but that's because of the layers of our consciousness, of our reality. It's ever changing. And this is where the Metatron's cube and the tetragrammaton comes in, right here. That's why Christ was crucified on the cross, is because it's sacred geometry. It all lines up, and that's why when you sit in meditation, a Buddha, if you go to any Buddha statue, you put this tetragrammaton over it, it'll line up. As far as the the ratio may be different, the size, but the geometrics of it all will line up. And by the way, this Danny Wilton, he just figured out that pi was wrong and he fixed it because pi's wasn't in harmony with the square root of 2. And for National Pi Day yesterday, he submitted the real version of pi. Go to his channel, and it's like, what? What's up, Joseph Hollis? Okay, here's a high altar at the Church of the Jesu. What is that? This is the Barnard Loop. This is the Orion Nebula. This is the belt. And this, the ultimate Anu, Adam Cadman. As above, so below. And like I was saying earlier about the 7 sounds in the Solfeggio scale, 7 stars in the Orion constellation, the main stars in Orion. In the beginning, God created heavens and earth. Now, the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And did you know recently they found out that when a sperm enters when a baby's conceived, there's a spark of light at that moment. Did you guys know that? When the sperm enters the egg? The mind takes form of a spark of fire by thinking on its essence, which gradually develops itself like the germ of a seed in the form of a mundane egg by its internal force. The mind, chitas, which is the subject of thoughts, contemplates on the nature of elementary matter and thus becomes of itself the quintessence of the 5 elements: earth, fire, wind, air, and what's the 5th? I don't know what the 5th is. But think about this. Okay, so matter has to be manifest somehow because everything is energy, right? So where is matter manifest? It didn't come from some infinitesimal freaking little dot and then Big Bang and all this shit comes out. No. Oh, and Trippin, the Great Attractor, is a black hole, the big black hole that all of our universes go around because everything gets bigger and everything gets smaller infinitely, both ways. 7 tribes, 7 continents, 7 seas. Thank you, Michelle. There, yay! You finally agree with me. Oh man, I'm gonna take that victory down. I'm gonna write that one down. When do you think the judgment day will happen? If you believe and have faith in God and don't have fear, I don't believe we're gonna be judged. I believe, like the Hopi prophecy says, the ones that return to the natural ways, I believe we are going to be untouched by the whatever's coming. And I believe maybe those of us, we will be touched, but we're going to be moved to the other side, to the new earth, like Dorothy Cannon, God rest her soul. used to talk about. Right. Let your dreams become reality. Correct. Man is as he thinketh. Manly Hall spoke that. Every great philosopher in history has said that. And you know, when you look across all of this stuff, the Kabbalah, the Kabbalah, the Zohar, Astrian, the it's even in the tarot. You know, that's I think the Zohar, right? Is that where the tarot comes from? But anyway, you look across all that, the Vedic, um, the Bible, the Christian Bible, you know, all of it. It all has the same thread, the same common thread of Christ consciousness. Knowledge is everything. Knowledge is the Christ. Jesus was sent here to remind us to get back on that path. The what is this called? The what is the medical symbol called? The I forget what it's called. But this right here is our DNA strand, right? But it also represents the negative and the positive polarity. And by that, I don't mean everything's duality, because nature is not a drunken hooker on crack. She's not here to confuse us. She's not here to show us her hairy armpits and make us think that everything is dualistic in nature, because that's a bunch of bullshit. Nature is simplistic in its ways, because everything is formed from an electromagnetic toroidal divergent convergent reciprocating precessional toroidal force. That's how everything in space turns into a circle, a ball, a sphere. Everything in our existence is that way. And that's the simple fact of the matter. Uh, Inertia, loss of inertia, um, like, okay, like Ken Wheeler likes to say, and I'm gonna steal this from him, like saying a wave is something, when a wave is what something does. You know, a wave, there is no such thing as a sound wave. It's a perturbation of a dielectric field, which is the ether. And another thing, antimatter is a bunch of bullshit. Antimatter is the ether. Tesla said it. Vortex math says it. That's what the 3, 6, and 9 is. Yep, 7. Right. And God said, "Let there be light." 7 words. Oh, that's awesome. Nice. Symbolism is what we need to get back to, because it conveys the message much more clearly. Because without symbolism, you have to put a primitive a subset of single, now listen to this, single divided letters to form combined letters into words, and then them words got to be combined. So you have to go through how many more processes to convey a message, when a symbol conveys, you know, you put one symbol with another symbol and it conveys a whole damn paragraph sometimes in all of these caduceus. That's what it was called. Yeah. The medical thing is a caduceus, like the barbershop pole. You know, did everybody know that the barbershop was actually where they used to do surgery and stitches and all that other shit back in like the Civil War era? Now, I believe if I believe we were our society, everything was hijacked, and it was deliberately allowed to be by the infinite, which is on the other side of Adam Kadmon, or the ultimate Anu, you know, because there is a creator, there is a source. We are all fractals of that source. I believe that, you know. And, you know, I don't know how many versions of us are out there in the cosmos, but I know we have an oversoul. Has anybody ever had that voice in their head that saved them from making the wrong turn or saved their life? Let me tell you a story real quick. Once I was doing a brake booster in my car in the middle of winter, had my garage totally plasticed off, completely sealed, and I was working under the dashboard of this car. I had this car running. It was freezing out. It was like 30 below. So I had this car running, and I was under the dashboard for 35, 45 minutes. And all of a sudden, something in my head said, "Get out of here." And I didn't even think about it. I just instantly got up, walked to the door, and I collapsed at the door. My face and my head landed outside the door. I couldn't move for over an hour. I almost died. But that voice in my head saved me. That happened another time in my life. I went on a field trip with school on an Amtrak train, and it was a big deal because I was in 6th grade. Remember those feelings we used to have when we went on field trips when we were in school? It was exciting. It was like, woo. And then, I was going to Duluth, and I live in St. Paul, on an Amtrak train. That was a good 3.5 hour ride there on a train, and that was a big deal. It was like, cool. Well, the whole day I had something nagging at me. Something was going to happen. That evening, we were going camping from the Amtrak station, and we were going up Highway 8. And anybody who's in Minnesota knows what I'm talking about. Highway 8 is a notorious road in our area that is a bad road. We were going up Highway 8, and guys, listen to this, guys. Right at the Iris Avenue sign, we got a truck came and hit us head on. And if I wasn't aware and paying attention, I seen it coming, and I knew what was coming when I seen it coming because I said, "Oh, that's why I was on edge all day." That was the second time. The third time, I was flying in a boat. I fell out of the boat, and it was right at opener, 33-degree water, and I was about ready to go under, and I was crying, and my whole life passed before my eyes, and something in my head said, "Don't give up. He's coming back. He's coming back." And the guy that was in the front of the boat ended up, the boat was full of water when he came back, and he had to go in circles around me to empty it out. But I almost died there, but something saved me. There was something in my head that said, "Don't go under because he's coming back." And I now believe that happened all those 3 times to be here to talk to you guys right now about what I found. I honestly believe that's why I am here. Now, that was pretty profound in my life, and that's, I've always had this 333 thing. It's part of my email. It's part of my existence. And if anybody's familiar with the vortex math thing, it's just, 369 is, yep. If you want to find the secrets to the universe, that vortex math, the Marco Rodin formula, right? Where the 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8 are the W of the equation, and the 3, 6, and 9 are the triangle of the equation. John, have you ever seen that? But listen to this. Take a circle, bisect it. What do you get? You get 180. 1 plus 8 is 9. Take that, bisect it. What do you get? 90. 9 plus 0 is 9. Take that, bisect it. You got 45. 4 plus 5 is 9. Take that, bisect it. 22.5. What's that? 2 plus 2 plus 5 is 9. Take that, bisect it. You end up with 9. 9, 9, 9. Over and over and over. As many times as you bisect the circle, you come up with the digital root 9. Okay, now that 369 is the ether part of the equation. The 2, 4, 5, 7, and 8. Yeah, 2, 4, 5, 7, and 8 is the matter part of the equation. That yeah, but Michelangelo didn't do it knowing he was doing it. It was divine inspiration. Now, if you look back and you read all these biographies of all these big thinkers, like even Einstein, Tesla even said it, that it would come to them in a divine voice or a divine vision. That's what Michelangelo did. He said, like, "Oh, what am I going to paint up there? I got it," and it came to him in the collective. That just points to the fact that we are in a matrix. We are in a self-fulfilling, reciprocating thought tank that manifests itself on Earth from the Kether. Think of Orion's Nebula as our mainframe server that projects our thoughts down to here and manifests in a material way, which is Earth and us. You see, we're all transmuted energy from stars. We are all sons of the morning. And we are all destined to become that again. And that's what they've taken away from us here, folks. That's what the whole lesson here is. Where else to learn not to be afraid than in the fear factory? Everything that is thrown in our face is fear. Our amusement parts are nothing but fear. Leonardo da Vinci, the Vitruvian Man, is actually the same as the tetragrammaton. You know, the geometry of it. That's why it's like four, arms or whatever. You know what I mean? Right. He drew a perfect circle. What do you mean? What's the perfect circle? The exact 360-degree circle? Oh, and did I tell you that this Danny Wilton is he's actually he won't go get his papers peer reviewed because he believes it's a bunch of garbage. You know, the regurgitation process of our so-called academia. Now, this is how you find out if you got the perfect circle, right? Medici was where Michelangelo hid out in the Medici church. That's where he hid out or hid out when the Pope and him had a falling out or whatever. But he had hid out in the basement of the Medici, I believe. That's where they found all these drawings of his on the walls and stuff, right? But anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, Danny Wilton. He squared the circle. He actually figured it out. And you know how he did it? He changed pi. Pi was not in harmony with the square root of 2, he says. I don't know what that means because I'm no genius, but he is, obviously. But this dude is just nuts. And that's why I believe it completely because he shows you all the data. He gives you all the research of every angle he's taken at it from every religious perspective, every cultural perspective, every geographical perspective, every esoteric perspective, every you come at it with an alchemist perspective, you come at it with even an atheist perspective. You're still going to come up with the same shit, and it's going to all nexus at what I'm telling you. Yes, but it was right. The true version was. You're right, Michelle. You're exactly right because that's what the pyramids were laid out in. Was the exact perfect pi was the square in the circle. You're exactly right. Now that's how Danny came to it was because of the sine 45 on the what was it, Khufu pyramid or Cheops? No, it was the Khufu pyramid. It's the sine 45 times 1,000. 9/10 I believe it is, but it was that pyramid. It was sine 45 that led him to the pi being not in conjunction because you would always end up with a different number on the top and on the bottom when you would figure out the formula. Right. Well, you can just from experience, but the true pi he made or figured out just recently actually for Pi Day. National Pi Day, he submitted it. And it was like a 3-page number, but that's I just watched the Life of Pi tonight. That was a sweet movie. It was an awesome movie. I got 20 people on here. It's the middle of the friggin' night, people. Don't anybody sleep? Look, I'm acting like 20 people's a lot. I appreciate every one of you watching me and listening to my dumb ass. But if you've taken anything out of what I've just told you guys, please take this. Go on my playlists and watch the Black Hole Sun. I mean, just give me at least 10 minutes of your eyeballs on that video. And if he articulates it and sells his work much better than I ever could, because he's the one who did it. I've put a couple of pieces together on my own without his help, but he is the true purveyor of this knowledge. And, I don't want to kiss his ass too much, but I mean, the dude's awesome. I don't want to put him up on an altar or anything because he doesn't want to be put on an altar, but he deserves all the credit for it because and the funny thing is he came across the knowledge on an accident because he's an analyst and he's a pattern recognizer, and he had the Creation of Adam painting up and the Orion Nebula up on two separate computer screens, and he was looking into the reason why the Bible and symbolism were disconnected and why all these religions around the world were at odds with each other. And he was trying to figure out through symbolism what it all meant. And for somehow he ended up on those two things. He was checking into church symbolism. And that's how he ended up with the Sistine Chapel Creation of Adam painting. Archimedes, wasn't it Pelagius or what the hell was his name? Pelagius I can't remember. But anyway, he came across the knowledge on an accident. Danny Wilton did. And he noticed that the patterns were the exact same. And he noticed a couple lines. And then he noticed the triangle and all this other stuff. But my point is I was looking because I was telling people that, Kurt Cobain sang the Black Hole Sun song because I was singing it to Pythagoras. There you go. Pythagoras. That's who it is. Wasn't it him? Oh, no, he came up with the Pythagorean theorem, wasn't it? The 375, how you could square things through a mathematical equation, right? I use that when I lay out block work and jobs like a basement or when I want to find a square root, so I could square something. It's called the Pythagorean theorem, or is that the Antikythera? No, that's the Antikythera mechanism, the first manual computer, right? That they found that was. But anyway, I was looking for the Black Hole Sun creator because somebody told me online that I was wrong about Kurt Cobain singing it, and all of a sudden, I click on Danny Wilton's Black Hole Sun, thinking it was going to be the song, and voila, it was right there. I was like, holy shit, this can't be right. This can't be right. I was like, whoa. And then I called, I got on the freaking YouTube right away and started shoving it down everybody's throat, didn't I? John bought into it right away. I think Trippin did. Maybe not right away. She was hanging out over at Sevens on his live streams. So what is Igor saying these days, guys? Is he still on the comet theory thing? Oh, and by the way, they say the only thing that could disrupt our matrix, not for good, but like put a glitch in it, is a comet going through Orion. Isn't that kind of odd? Is that why we are so scared of comets? Or is it because they fall from the sky and hit us? I don't know. But I think our biggest concern right now is the caldera down in the Gulf and Yellowstone. I don't really care for Igor stuff either, but Igor is a good guy. He means well, but he's been asking for money a lot lately. But I mean, to each their own. Igor's a good guy. He means well. I was watching him back when he was what was his channel called before? It was Against the Grain now. What was it called before? He also believes that the Earth is district or something like that. Yeah, all the Earth or all the volcanoes right now are on the verge of blowing. I'm kind of worried about my buddy Regis down in the Caribbean. He lives on Martinique, and I hear there's a big one there that's ready to go. I guess I can show you guys. Yeah. To be honest with you, I don't watch anybody that's in the Nibiru community stuff because I don't want to be steered in any way because I'm part of it. You know, I'm trying to figure it out for myself. And if you watch somebody else's videos, you get this idea planted in your head. You know, you kind of get biased. You know what I'm saying? And you start looking for the same thing somebody else is looking for when you're trying to, you know, like videotape something, or because I found myself doing that a lot. So did you guys enjoy this video, or did you get anything out of this video right here that I posted recently? Now you guys are down here checking your resolution, right? You see 1440 P50 is what I upload in. And it's the highest you can upload in. But you see this right here? This is a face of a being looking right at us right now. Right here. Right here, there's a bull. B-U-L-L, bull. Right back here is some sort of creature. See him right there? Right here, too. See the bull? You can see his face pretty good there. But that's why I start and stop, guys, is because it's got this. Here's the lizard right here, up here. See the lizard? Right there. There's a lizard guy. And then there's a guy right here, or some sort of alien right in there. And I think there's another lizard back here. But I don't know if any of that's real or if it's their sort of they're doing like a Macy Day parade float on us. B-U-L-L, bull, not a bowl, a bull. See the lizard? But I wanted to show you guys one thing on here and see if you guys see it. You see this, right? Not that. That's not what I wanted to show you though. But you see the lizard. Here's the lizard, and then there's a creature in here. There's another creature down there, but this is a good one right here. Come on. What the hell? Okay, it's the next video. It's not even this video. But I was going to show you. I don't know. I'll show you whatever. Whatever. Sorry, guys. Oh, come on. I got to go here. You got somebody in your house that doesn't believe in any of this too, huh? I think that's the case with most of us, isn't it? That, you know, our significant other, or, you know, somebody that we care about, or somebody that, you know, you'd like to confide in or talk to, doesn't believe a damn bit of it. Right here, it's this one that I wanted to show you guys. Okay, now this one is kind of far out there to, you know, to wrap your mind around. But this is one of the first videos I made that I recorded. And I shit you not, but to the right here in the black, I seen like two hands come down, palms up, and this stream of clouds come. And then all of a sudden I started seeing this was a camel. A camel, okay? Like it was a Bedouin camp. Watch. And these are people right here. This is a camel. See it? And if you sit and watch it without it moving around so much, you can actually see the thing walking. And these are people setting up a tent or encampment. There's more people over here, but This is a camel. It sounds nuts. I know. Sounds pretty crazy. But you got to admit, that looks like a camel. And this kind of looks like somebody up on an altar or in a pew up high or something. But, you know, I'm reading in a little too far there. A little too far-fetched, I guess. I guess it's kind of far-fetched saying I see a camel in the clouds too, but whatever. Might as well go all in, right? Morning. It is 3:12 here now. Okay, now right here, what do you guys see right here? See this? It's a freaking jet, right? Look, it comes with stuff coming out of the front of it. Here's what I wanted to show you guys. See, I've had videos on my phone, guys, that were super clear. Like once I caught a little, I'm not kidding you, a juvenile reptilian in a clear bubble. Call me crazy, but I caught him in a clear bubble, flying it around like it was his little go-kart, and he went into a mothership right in front of my eyes. And how I ended up catching that thing on video was I seen this little glint of light in the corner of my eye while I was driving, and I pulled over. You know what I mean? And I seen this thing and I filmed it and I had perfect footage of it and I erased it knowingly. Now, I don't know why I would do that because I've saved all this footage. Look at 5/3 of 2016. I even have some footage from April of 2016 and some from, you know, like 12/15. But this is a alien ship. It looks like a bird, but it's not. I jumped around pretty good here. I don't know how to move this side of the way. Oh, there we go. Got to back up here. Back that beautiful beam footage. Right there. Okay, you see the stuff I just circled? This is a jet looking thing. Jet looking thing, jet looking thing. But look at, these are the ones that I was talking about. The ones with the dangly things, like the ones from the War of the Worlds. The one with Tom Cruise in it, I believe. But these things could jam your camera, your autofocus. I'd be filming them and all of a sudden my camera wouldn't focus. That's happened to me. Look at right there. Did you see that? Back that footage up. Motherfucker. Sorry. Come on. And when I first started filming, I was notorious for doing that on my videos. Was, you know, I'm still not the greatest at it, but you know, moving the camera is hell. When you're filming things, you got to keep your camera still. Otherwise, you end up doing this. See this right here? This is a humanoid looking thing, like a Macy's Day Parade float. This is a girl looking straight up in the air, laying on her back. Nose, eye, forehead, mouth, hands crossed, and feet down here. In this particular day, I caught this several different humanoids, and it was like those ships were pulling this along like they were pulling a barge. There's one right here, like they're gnomes or whatever, but they were huge. This is in pareidolia. I know what pareidolia is. Pareidolia is picking out faces in the clouds. That's not pareidolia. That's a profile. This isn't pareidolia. That actually looks like a person looking straight up in the air. Does it not? You just got to argue with me all the time, don't you, Michelle? Oh, no, that's how do you say your name? Matapo. Sorry. Welcome, Mattabo. Am I saying your name right, or can I just say Matt? But watch, as I stop and go, watch this thing morph right here. There's another one. But you can actually see like something coming out of the back of this one. But watch. Watch when I stop and go. Oh, this ain't the spot. But look at this one's coming into view, moving around. There's that one again. He's moving. There's a good shot of it. Look at. Looks like a pterodactyl almost, don't it? Watch. I think I stop and start it right here. But if you ever catch something like this and you're doing your own footage, start and stop. Start it, stop it right away. When you're reviewing it, and you'll see more because it like the magnetic cloaking thing like shifts, and sometimes you get a good view at it, and sometimes you don't. Haha, full brain. Oh, you're in Thailand? Yes. Yeah, I did notice sometimes if you speed things up, you do see more. I think you're right, Jax. I do believe you're right. 417 there. It's 317 here, so you're not too far off from where I'm at. But watch this thing. Looks like a pterodactyl shadow. That's what you're talking about right there, Jax. Where it goes rear, where you can't focus in on it. Yeah, I want to start traveling with my brain more. Oh, somebody's an astral traveler in here? See, right here, I couldn't even regain focus because they were jamming it so good. And I do believe that's now. Let's get down to the dynamics of why we don't feel the inertia on our planet, because that's the biggest argument for people that want to say, there's, and I don't want to get into that argument, but what do you guys believe stops us from feeling the inertia of our spin, which is 1,000 miles an hour, our orbit, which is 66, oddly enough, 66,600 miles an hour around the Earth or around the sun, and then top that off, we're being dragged through the galaxy in a spiral configuration behind the heliosphere in the sun at like 287 miles per hour or 1,000 miles per hour or something like that. How do you think we do not feel the inertia from all that? What do you think the dynamics of that holds our atmosphere in? And we don't feel it because if we're on a merry-go-round and we're going shit 3 miles an hour, we fly off that MFR, right? I mean, it's well known. So what holds us to Earth and our atmosphere to Earth and doesn't get obliterated by all that inertia? What do you guys think of this footage here? That's some trippy footage, ain't it? And everything I'm showing you guys, I am the one who caught all of the footage on here. except for the Danny Wilton pictures and stuff. But anyway, what do you guys suppose is the physics behind what holds us and our atmosphere? I say to you, it's the same thing that these extraterrestrial interstellar spaceships use. The ion bubble. That's why the TR3B, the TR3B, oh, this is an inverted view of that Sunrunner offshoot video I have. Look at that thing. Ain't that wicked? I'm going to slow this footage down here for a second. Oh, damn it. Damn it. Fucker. Sorry for my dirty language. Like Trippin said, I'm a UFO magnet, and I believe it has something to do with me thinking I'm going to get a UFO every time. Look at that thing. Now, if you haven't seen this on my channel, go to the Sunrunner offshoot video. It's on the front page of my channel for returning viewers. And this was weird. This day, I just had a feeling I was going to catch something. I pointed my phone at the sun. I pulled over on the side of the road, pointed my phone at the sun. 45 seconds. I had the footage and I left. Yeah, I'll just start crying all of a sudden. But the UFO magnet thing is because I think in my head I'm going to see them all the time. I swear to God, that's what it is. It's like I just have this understanding I'm going to catch one. I don't know how to explain it. You know, and a lot of people that catch UFOs say the same thing. Guys, I had that same edge feeling when I joined WSO 3 years ago, and I thought my life was coming to an end in 2 months. Now, you cannot have that impending doom feeling. That is the thing I'm talking about. The fear factory is here for a reason, folks. The third dimension, it is in the tablets, the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, in the Key of Mysteries, the tablet of Key of Mysteries. It says when he tells us about the 7 lords of the cycles, meaning the ones that watch over the cycles, meaning the dimensions, or because we're in the third dimension, we're on the third rock from the sun. There is no coincidence there. And you're hearing it from a guy that believes in 333, and that's my existence. Now, that's neither here nor there. I hear you. But fear is a fetter great. Fear is the main reason we are incarnate in this realm, on this planet, in this time, is to overcome it in the biggest fear-induced environment you could think of. All you have to do is think, hey, we're going to be this someday. Whatever the hell that thing is, a flying mushroom, a bee, whatever the hell that thing is. But this thing was pure energy, came off the sun, was a flaming ball of flame, and then turned into some black diamond thing that tumbled through the sky. This thing right here. I cry every time I look in the mirror. After I get scared. But no, I find myself reading comments from you fine folk and feeling so deeply touched sometimes that I cry. You know, and I'll admit it right on the comment section, you know. I don't know why, but I do. Because I'm just a big softy. And with that, I need a new car. Will you guys donate to me? I need like $3,000, maybe 4. Could you guys give me some money? You know, I'm just kidding. You know, that's like Mr. MBB333. He's on his channel asking for money, driving a fucking Navigator. I don't get that. Yeah, I'm not saying I feel the greatest, but I'm telling you one thing. When this shit happens, and if it's a planet, if it's the Anunnaki, whatever the hell it is, I'm going to flip it the fuck off, and I'm going to say, yeah, come get me. Even if it is the nebula. And if I got time, I'm dropping trawl, turning around, bending over, and mooning the son of a bitch before I die. And I'm dead serious about that too. That's how I feel about it. Because it's done pissed me off trying to figure out what the hell it is. But yeah, I'm gonna wait here another 5 minutes, guys, and I'm gonna cut it because it'll be 3:33. My time to go to bed. Here, I'll show that video. So you can run away. Where you gonna run to? I ran so far away. Yeah, you know what? I bought all kinds of canned food. I spent like $1,500 on canned food, and guess what? It's all expiring right now. I had I had water for so long that it started to I had Cub food water, you know, in the cheap jugs. It started leaking on the fucking shelf. So half the jugs are empty. The freaking canned food's all going bad, you know. And that's because I was believing in the date given uh Nancy Leaders, and I never believed her, but I mean the Steve Olsons, the Dave Dobbs, and all them people that giving out these freaking dates all the time, you know. And when I started into this, I was really scared. I was petrified for my kids, for my existence, because I thought everything was straight up physical, and it's not. And finding this information, maybe it's human nature to want this to be true, but I believe it to be true with my heart, my soul, my existence, that we are part of something way bigger than we ever considered. Here's the video that I first saw. My very first video was John Moore, not George Carlin. He's good too, though. But this video right here is the very first video I saw back in December of 2015. This guy. And it was the only video I had to see to believe it because it explained a lot of things to me. The flood, all of the shit. But what he's selling us here is a physical version of the esoteric manifestation, if you guys understand me. You know, and I'm not trying to steer anybody away from their beliefs on anything. I just want you guys to hear my side and what I believe. And I do put a lot of time and effort into what I'm telling you, and a lot of research, a lot of, anybody who says differently is lying, because I put a lot of, and I care. I care. And I'm not just saying that because I'm asking for money, because I'm not asking for money. This right here is one of the best videos I came across recently. And it comes from another guy who's selling every bit of his information now, Gerald Clark. And I was high and mighty about him. I used to love him. And now he's asking for premium content fees and this and that, you know. Because when I first came across the WSO thing, I was like, oh, this is sweet. I found a bunch of people that think like me. We're all going to get together. We're all going to, do this, do that, do this, do that. I became a leader and all that other stuff, started calling people. And guess what? Abandoned. Like he was the chief of the abandonee tribe. He was an abandoner. That's what my wife calls me when I go fishing all the time. I'm an abandoner. I gotta hang out for 3 more minutes, Tripping. You can't leave yet. 3 more minutes, girl. Should be going anywhere yet. You know what these things remind me of? They remind me of them porcelain one hitters that you'd get back in the day, where you'd put a roach in one end and there's a hole all the way through. That's what those things remind me of. I was thinking about going veggie, because recently, to help your consciousness. What do you think helping you think it's helping your consciousness to eat an animal that in their last seconds was scared out of its mind and watched his neighbor get freaking 2 more minutes and counting. T minus 2 minutes and counting. But these are awesome right here. And if anybody tripping, have you gone to the science museum lately? I think it was last year. They had the elongated skull Peruvian uh, mummified remains. What's this circle with that right there? What's that symbol right there? This one. It looks like where have I seen that? It's like a street sign somewhere. But anyway, they show these elongated skulls. They're not giants or anything, And the History Channel or the Discovery Channel tried selling it to us that they did it themselves when they were born. Tiramisu. What's tiramisu? T minus 1 minute and counting. You don't go to fucking Minneapolis? Well, that's fucking good for you because it's in St. Paul. Being a Freemason isn't necessarily a bad thing, guys. I'm sure there's a faction of them that is bad. You know, that's just what I mean. Everything that we think is bad could be good. Isn't that in the Bible too? What is good will become bad. What was bad will become good. That is part of the prophecy, is it not? Yeah, Prince. All right, guys. It is 3:33. I'm out. Peace, harmony, and lots of chicken greases. I love you all, and I mean that. Take it easy, guys. Later on, John. Thanks for your never-ending support. Thank you, Strawberry. Thank you, Trippin'. And Truth Seeker, Jack's Dreamin', Full Brain Travel, Polymer Plastics. Everybody. Thank you for joining me on this late evening of the SSS FTT report.